Hello. Well, the most hated part of English language, and I would say any language, basically, is grammar, of course, grammar. So let's try to explain a little bit of it. If we take all the grammar tenses, and grammar tenses are the thing that creates the most problems for non-native speakers, when is the right time to use a certain grammar tense and so on. So if we take all the grammar tenses and we put them all in one pile, we'll have a huge pile of different grammar tenses that we have no idea what to do with. So in order to find our way through this jungle, we need to organize it in some way, right? One of the ways how we can organize all these grammar tenses placed in one pile is that we separate them in two groups. So one group is called simple tenses. You don't need to know the name unless you have to pass an exam that involves knowing the definitions and knowing the names of certain things from grammar. But if you don't bother yourself with that. So one is the set of grammar tenses that we language people, we call them simple tenses. And then you have the other group, and that group is called, horrible name, continuous tenses. You don't need to know that. So two groups, basically. Two groups. Forget about the names unless you need them. So two groups of grammar tenses. And what is the difference? Well, the most important, let's start explaining it like this. The most important thing in learning a foreign language is not rules and regulations, writing, or whatever it is. The most important thing is to pass the message. So you can have a person who knows 5,000 words, who knows grammar very well, rules and regulations and everything, writes amazing writing assignments, and so on, speaking fluently, he thinks or she thinks, but at the same time, quite frequently misses to pass the right message. So it confuses the person who listens, and they usually need to ask additional questions. So what is the most important thing in any foreign language is to pass the message. How? Well, that's another thing. But if you manage to pass the message right, the form of the message or whatever about the message is not so important, right? So now we are trying to figure out these two groups of grammar tenses and how do they affect our message. If many things are important in our message, like who, where, when, what, how, and so on, but the length of action is not important. Like, I walked my dog yesterday. In this message, I don't pay too much attention to how long that walk was. And that's not the point of my message, probably the whole story that I'm telling you. But if it is important how long the action was, is, will be, or whatever, then by the logic of English language, we immediately switch to continuous tenses, or the tenses that emphasize, put the accent to the length of action. So in that case, the sentence, I walked my dog yesterday, will change to I was walking my dog for 3 hours under the pouring rain yesterday. So, is it any clearer now? So if we need to pass any kind of message, who, when, where, what, how, why, and so on, but we don't care to say how long the action was, in English language, by the logic that their people use, we're not going to use this other group of grammar tenses that emphasize the length of action. And if the length of action is important, then we will use them. Okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Have a great day.